I guess we want to talk about, like, for me, like my introduction to Anchor Bay was the first day that I bought the DVD player. I think it was in August of 2000. And just by happenstance, Suncoast Motion Picture Company in Lexington, Kentucky, the first two titles that I ever got, one was the MGM release of Carrie, Brian De Palma's Carrie.
Hmm.
The other was just because of the artwork. That was it. I was drawn in on the artwork. It said it was very gory on the back or whatever. City of the Living Dead, the Anchor Bay release, I think from like 99, 2000. And man, that opened the floodgates on that Italian horror stuff and Anchor Bay in general. Because at this point in time, even in 2000, man, Anchor Bay Entertainment was the primary company doing horror and cult stuff. So most of this stuff that was out, they produced, they released.
Oh, it was my introduction to hundreds of movies that I would have never learned about otherwise. The Italian stuff. I mean, Argento, that opened my door to him. With some of these releases, I mean, they really did open my door to a lot. I knew the main stuff: Fright Night, Lost Boys, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Halloween, Evil Dead. But it opened my eyes to a lot of other things like that. Like, I mean, the first time I saw Dawn of the no, I can't say that. I had an HBO DVD, I think, VHS for Dawn of the Dead, but probably the first time I saw Day of the Dead was on an Anchor Bay DVD, probably. So it definitely did just kind of open my eyes to that, and a lot of other things and movies that we're going to talk about, like you said, that maybe people have missed.